might just been the clients I had at the time, but when iOS 14 came into play, the clients I had in that period, broad was what worked best for them. So I was going broad then, and still doing some interest targeting, but it just never seemed to beat broad. And now I'm pretty much fully invested in broad targeting because it does just, I think as well with Meta removing a lot of placements, not placements, a lot of audience groups in the targeting option of the ad sets. That kind of forced me previously as well to move to more broad, because things I had would be working, and then one day Meta just decides to remove it, and then what do? If your top campaign was based on some interest group that they've now just decided they don't want to use anymore, that campaign is just going to instantaneously die, and you're left with nothing. So I think going broad is a very, very wise strategy, because you can build up learnings within the campaigns where, with the machine learning platform, it's going to remember, it's going to train that broad audience to find your ideal customer every single time. So even though you are going broad, it's going to get smarter over time, which you wouldn't get with interest, because they're always changing. New people are coming into them, people are leaving them. That's why I think broad is just like such a fantastic placement or fantastic targeting option.
Can you get tactical and explain exactly what broad looks like within the platform?
Yeah, so I think it just depends on your business, but when we talk about broad, we're talking about using no interest groups, no demographic groups, and just selecting the age, the gender, and the location of your target population. Obviously, if you do, for example, let's say your customer base is predominantly females and it's predominantly over 35, you don't necessarily have to select females only and people who are 35 and up. The algorithm is going to be smart enough to decide, well, these are the people responding to this ad. Let me just show it to that segment of the audience. But if you really know your data, and you're just wasting money showing to males, or you're showing to people under that age range, sure, you can try and restrict it and give it those demographic properties. But I think it's better just to leave it open. I've seen in my experience that if you leave it open, a lot of the time you will do better. If you've been running with a certain age or male, female preference for a long time, and then you go and try something new and leave it fully open, that previous campaign is going to perform better. But that's not because you're selecting the demographic, is because that campaign has been running a long time and it has the learnings in it. If you were to try something else and give it a fair share, like run it for a long time, I would bet after a sufficient period of time, it would start to cannibalize that original campaign and beat it. So I think really my preference is just selecting the location and leaving it 18 and up and male and female, no matter what you're selling.